On behalf of Missouri State Parks, I'd like to welcome you to Meramec State Park. My name is Don Fink, and I'm the Superintendent of the Upper Meramec Management Unit, which includes Meramec and Onondaga Cave State Parks. I'd like to thank you for joining us for our virtual public meeting. Meramec State Park is located near Sullivan, Missouri, about 1 hour west of St. Louis, and is one of the oldest and largest state parks in the Missouri State Park system. The park opened in 1927, and in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps began constructing trails and other facilities at the park. The CCC worked 9 years in the park, building many of the structures that can still be seen today, including this octagonal stone trail shelter located on the Bluffview Trail overlooking the Meramec River. The park offers more than 13 miles of hiking trails, a modern campground with over 200 campsites, a picnic area, a river access, a boat ramp, and a visitor center with exhibits interpreting the natural and cultural features of the park. Our concession partner, BA Services Incorporated, operates the park cabin rentals, the Fireside Store and Grill, the River Stop Store, the Hickory Ridge Motel, Conference Center, and the Overlook Pavilion, and floating on the Meramec River, including rental of kayaks, canoes, rafts, and tubes. Now joining us are 3 Meramec State Park team members to share with you more about what park staff have been working on recently, as well as upcoming projects and plans.
Hello, my name is Brian Wilcox. I am the Senior Naturalist Resource Interpreter. And the 3 things that we basically, my staff and I, work on is the cultural history, the resource management, and interpretation. And over the past year, we've been working on a lot of good management for the resources, especially with invasive species that can come in and overtake the resource and foul everything up for all the plants and thus the animals. We've been contributing about 175 hours this past year in destroying autumn olive, bush honeysuckle, and other plants that are threatening the ecosystem. We also been working on surveys that deal with bats, that deal with rare and endangered plants and animals. One of the animals that's kind of rare is the saddleback crayfish, and we've been surveying our creeks on the population levels and if they're in any of these creeks, because that's an imperiled animal. The saddleback crayfish is only found here in the Meramec River Basin. So it's important to know what Meramec State Park has. Then we do bat surveys and deer surveys. And these surveys are very important to understand our numbers and if we need to do further management with those. In other words, maybe closing the cave if the bats are really having a hard time due to white nose fungus, or if we notice that the deer are feeding on a lot of plants, there may be deer management needed. But it's the science that drives us to the next step in order to make sure that the parks are going to be excitable for people to come. And that excitement is with interpretation. So my staff and I, we do a lot of programs that deal with river walks, evening programs, cave tours. And the cave tours, Fisher Cave Tours, are going to start up good this year. It's been a little slow due to COVID, and since 2019 we are starting this year with pretty much a full schedule for programming. And what is also exciting is that this year people can reserve to get a spot on a cave tour during June, July, and August. So we're hoping that's going to be a exciting thing for us. And as the summer goes along, we'll introduce other types of interpretive programming, and we have evening programs every Saturday night. So we do get excited when people come and they want to know about what's happening with those kinds of amenities that you have camping here at Meramec State Park. The park is a very large park, about a little over 6,500 acres, and there's a lot to do and a lot to manage and a lot to ensure that we are going to protect, preserve, and create unique recreational opportunities, and that is our goal.
Hello, I'm Scott Francis, Park Supervisor here at Meramec State Park. My role here is to support and manage our maintenance team and to assist in directing overall operation and maintenance of the park. I'd like to take this time to tell you about some of the projects that we have completed, some projects that are currently in progress, and some projects that we have planned for the future. So as for some of our completed projects, we've actually removed over 130 hazard trees in some of the more prominent areas of our campground and our main park road. We've actually grinded over 70 unsightly tree stumps. We've raised the canopy level of our main park road to allow for larger RVs to get through. And we've also installed additional fill station. We've actually replaced an electrical panel, worked closely with the local contractors to replace our electrical main distribution panel and 2 sub-panels in our conference center to keep up with our load demand. We also worked closely with another local contractor to replace our equipment controls for one of our wells. As for some of the projects that we have in progress, we are in the process of installing all new park signs. We're in the process of a campsite post replacement, and we're demolishing and replacing Shower House 3. For some of the future projects we are systematically replacing our campground fire pits and lamp posts. We're systematically upgrading our water and wastewater infrastructure components. We're working with our state park leadership to get our campground roads resurfaced, and in the near future, we're going to have 2 new playgrounds, one in the day use and one in the campground. So all of the work that has been done here and is going to be done is meant to improve your enjoyment of Meramec State Park. So on behalf of the maintenance team here, we want to thank you for choosing our park.
Hello, my name is Carrie Likens, and I'm the park specialist here at Meramec State Park. My role is to care for and manage the visitor center as well as campground operations. One big change you'll notice in our visitor center operations is its hour of operation. We will now be open throughout the months of April throughout October from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and we will now be closed from November throughout the month of March. Please feel free to stop by, grab a park map, ask questions, and take a tour of our facilities. You will notice some big changes here in the campground as well. We now have a different way you can check into our park. If you've booked online or by phone, please feel free to proceed to your site. You will notice that your site has a red tag that indicates it's reserved for you, and our campground host will check you in. If you arrive later in the afternoon and want to make a same-day reservation, please check in at the check-in booth or with the campground host to make that reservation. If you check in after hours, you will notice several green tags throughout the park. This indicates that a site is open for at least one night. Please set up camp and check in with the campground host at your earliest convenience in the morning. There are several other changes you will notice as well. You will notice a new campground post, which will make your site easier to find. There will be a new replacement for Shower House 3 later this summer, and there will be several campground playground improvements throughout the year. Thank you, and have a great visit at Meramec State Park.
Thank you for watching and attending our virtual public meeting presentation. Please feel free to share this link with your family and friends. We welcome your feedback, as this video will be posted until the end of the month. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the park office at 573-468-6072 or email us at meramecstatepark@dnr.mo.gov. You may also use the comment section to provide feedback focused on operations at Meramec State Park. If you have any other questions or comments, you can email moparks@dnr.mo.gov. The park contact information is also listed in the video description for your convenience. Thanks to the citizens of Missouri, our state parks and historic sites are supported by 0.5% of the park, soils, and water sales tax. This sales tax allows free access to Missouri's 92 state parks and historic sites. Remember, you're always welcome in Missouri state parks.